Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Sade. Thank you so much for joining me for our astrology talk. For today, we are diving into what does it mean when you have your Venus, your planet Venus, in the sign of Libra. Now, if you have not checked out any of my videos on what the archetype of Libra means in astrology, as well as what the planet Venus means in astrology, go ahead to my channel, Hidden Alchemy, where you can find tons and tons of videos where I dissect and break these deeper definitions down. But quickly, for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and dive into what the planet Venus means very briefly and what we can expect when we have the planet Venus in the sign of Libra. Now, Venus is the planet of love, the planet of partnership, the planet of diplomacy, the planet of the arts, beauty, aesthetic. And Venus really signifies how we are in relation. So I know a lot of times when people hear the planet Venus, they think about just romantic relationships, but that's not necessarily the case. Venus is how we are in relation to people, places, and things around us. So, how do we relate to the life around us? How do we like to relate to these things? And Venus is the planet ruler of Libra as well as Taurus. So, if you have your Venus in the sign of Libra, this is a very comfortable Venus placement, especially if your sun is in Libra and you have your Venus in Libra, then Venus feels very comfortable here being in this space. Now, the thing about your Venus sign, Venus does not travel too far away from the sun. So if you have your Venus in Libra, then that means that your sun sign is either going to be in Virgo, Libra, or Scorpio or Sagittarius. And the reason being is because Venus is always traveling close to the sun. So Venus and Mercury signs are usually in the same sign or in a sign just before or just after because they both travel very close with the sun. So that's a little trick. If you know someone's sun sign, then you can probably assume, okay, their Venus might be in this specific sign. So let's go ahead and dive into Libra. Libra is the sign of partnership. It is the sign of the seventh house, of contracts, of business, of delegations, of diplomacy, of fairness. And when you have the planet Venus in the sign of Libra, this gives it the masculine Venus energy. Venus is also the ruler of Taurus. Taurus is the feminine side of Venus. Libra being with Venus is going to bring you the masculine side. So these are people who can really be very direct about them acting in these Venusian ways, especially when they are in their partnerships. Venus in Libra is really, really great because these are folks that genuinely enjoy relationships. So if you are a person like myself, my Venus is in Libra, these are people who love partnerships. And I would say to a point that these people can always hop and flip and flop and kind of be a little indecisive about their partnerships because Libra rules the balance beams. And these are people who are constantly searching for that perfect partner or that perfect other half. I feel like Virgo gets the rep of being the perfectionist, but because Libra is always striving for balance, they're always constantly fickle about, okay, is this the right person? Is this not the right person? Is this the right situation? Is this not the right situation? Because they need to feel balance in their life. And because Venus and Libra folks really can be very lovesick and love being in partnership and really know how to be diplomatic partners, they have a hard time being alone. And this is definitely something I would say if you are a person with a lot of Venusian energy. So maybe if you have a lot of Taurus, a lot of Libra, or if you have Venus in your first house, or if you have the number 6 very present in your numerology chart, 6 is the number ruled by Venus, then you are a person who's very Venusian. And Venusian folks, especially as they are maturing, really have to learn the importance of solitude and being alone because Venus is the planet of value and what we bring value to and the value we see in ourselves. Venus and Libra folks love partnership and sometimes can lack self worth and self value, especially in the immature stages of their life when they're still developing this Venusian energy. So these are folks, because they love partnership, can really always be in relationships searching for their value through their partners. This is really a relational placement, a relational sign. So Libran folks focus on their value through how other people see them. And when these folks have not developed their self worth, which comes from being alone in spaces of solitude, they can attract partners that can use them for their diplomacy, for their ability to always want to compromise and see where their partner's position is coming from. And this can continue to bring them low self worth and low self esteem. So, this is definitely something I've had to work on through my years of spending time alone so that I can figure out what my value is and what I bring to the table. And I promise you, once Venus and Libra folks find their value and find their self-worth and have courage speaking up for themselves, even if it's against what their partners, what their friends, or what their families want, these people become extremely powerful, extremely charismatic, great business people, and great lovers, because Venus naturally is the planet of attraction, of love, but you are attracting always from where you are moving from. So Venus and Libra folk, or just people that are very Venusian in general, have to focus on that Aries element of who are you? Who is the self? By the self. Then once you figure out yourself, then you can go ahead and attract the right people, the right places, the right partner, and the right opportunities to you. Now, Venus is also the planet of business, and Venus and Libra folks are great business people. And I'm going to dive deeper into this in my Mercury in Libra video, because Mercury is also the planet of business as well in terms of communicating with people. But Venus and Libra folks, again, once they work on this self worth and self value, they know how to work with other people, especially in terms of business, because they can bring that duality and that diplomacy to the table, where they are willing to see what the end goal is and willing to see, okay, what is everybody's views? What's everybody's standpoint? And they're going to move in a space of, okay, what is fair? What is correct? And what's going to bring us to our end goal with the least resistance and with making sure that everybody can get their needs met. So this is a really great placement for business. These are people who are very charismatic. They know the right words to say. They know how to make people feel good and make people feel seen. Venus and Libra folks can really know how to make people feel loved and feel seen and feel appreciated, because these are people who really want to feel appreciated in their partnerships. Venus and Libra folks are gifted with the beauty of aesthetic, of grace, and with just being very elegant and beautiful, especially if you are a person who has Venus in your first house. You come across in your relationships with others as being very elegant, very graceful. I mentioned this in my Venus, my Libra rising video, but these are people who can kill you with kindness, even if they may not be that fond of you. And this is what makes them great business people. They know how to get along with you, kill you with kindness, kill you with grace, and to the point where people can actually get really offended and upset at these folks because they know how to just be so graceful and so balanced in any situation. People who have a lot of Venus energy, people can get really jealous of the way that you can just appear at ease, at peace, and grounded and balanced in any situation that you're placed in. And a lot of times, these people, because they can always appear so kind on the outside, they really attract people who kind of sometimes can take their kindness for weakness. And that's why these folks have to work on their value and speaking up for themselves and knowing the difference between when is an appropriate time to find a common ground and when is an appropriate time to stand in your personal beliefs and your truths without feeling guilty, because these are folks that need balance. So the perfect way that Venus and Libra folks are going to find balance is by actually leaning into their Aries element of, no, this is what I believe, these are my desires, and I'm worthy of moving selfishly in this moment, and knowing that in another moment in that same duality, I can be just as selfless and just as accommodating, just depending on the season and the situation. Venus and Libra folks, this is the luxury placement. Now, I mentioned this in my Venus in Leo, but Venus and Libra people enjoy luxury, especially when they start to develop their own sense of self-worth and value. They want to be around what is of value and what has high worth and high meaning. Venus is a relational planet, and Libran folks are very big on social climbing. So these are people that once they start to mature in their elegance and in their grace and in their beauty and their power of just being this peaceful, diplomatic being, they are going to attract those other people to them that can help them to socially climb and really be in this space of luxury that they really want for themselves. Venus and Libra folks like comfort. They want their partners to also help them meet that comfort, help them meet that luxury. They want to share things with their partner. They want to share activities with their partner. So they would like if their partner also enjoys luxury and the finer things. And really, Venus and Libra and folks enjoy the finer things because they believe that they're worthy of those finer things. And because Venus is the planet of attraction, once these people embrace their elegance and embrace their beauty and their grace, they're able to attract more of that into their life and really just bring in more abundance. So these are people who don't have to search for partnership, but they really have to work on their own sense of self so that they can really attract all of that abundance into their life 10 times fold. These folks care about their partners and how their partner looks on their arm. I mentioned that in my Venus and Leo video. They want their partner to bring balance to them, and they want their partner to look good next to them as well, and to also help them socially climb, because Libra is a big social sign. Now, because Libra is an air element, air rules the intellect, and it's cardinal, it's an initiator of change. These people can be really great with money, and that goes hand in hand with them being great with business, because they enjoy certain luxuries and they enjoy certain lifestyles for themselves. They can be very good at knowing how to get into good business with people, knowing how to build more assets and more wealth for themselves, and using that to continue that lifestyle of just peace and art. These people love art. They love to artistically express themselves. And people who have a lot of Venus in their chart, or a lot of Libra or Taurus energy, whatever they do is going to be an expression of art in some way, shape, or form, because Venus is about what you enjoy doing. And these people, being naturally an artistic sign, they enjoy being in spaces of art. They enjoy being around other people who are artists or who might help them bring out their art characteristics. And they enjoy to bring art and beauty into everything that they do, especially how they present themselves aesthetically and how they present their work, because Libra is the work sign. But all in all, this is such a beautiful Venus placement. Venus loves to be in the sign of Libra because it feels at home and comfortable with expressing its love for life, for peace, for partnerships, for relationships, and really just kind of being at ease and going with the flow of things. Of course, like I mentioned, Venus and Libra folks have to work on their own self-worth so that they can continue attracting the right partnerships to them that can help them to continue to creatively express all of that love, that peace, and that diplomacy that they naturally embody. All right, everyone, let me know if you have your Venus in the sign of Libra, if this resonates with you, and I will see you all for our next video.